Welcome to Between the Lines. We're ready to go. We are live on Thursday night, August the 20th. I think that's correct. And my co-host is here tonight with me. She's taking over, as y'all well know. I asked 10 people today about last week's show. She said, "Oh, Sabra was great." Okay. So anyway, we're back to talk more about that today. They call it the Bonnie and Clyde show, but folks, Clyde ain't in charge. You ready to go tonight?
I'm ready.
Okay, so last week we talked a little bit about everything in the August elections. We're going to move on to the November city elections and talk a little bit about that tonight, who's qualified and what direction, and what questions we should look for. Additionally, the county passed a budget Monday night. Yeah, I want to talk about that just a little bit. We'll talk about that as we go along, but where do you want to start?
Good budget. We passed it with a 3% increase for employees, no tax increase.
It's pretty good.
Always good when you don't have to put a property tax increase on there.
Should be mandatory, yeah.
We
I
got
agree.
some retention in there for full-time and part-time employees, so give them a little bit of a
Was
bonus.
there any frustration, any budget, anything there that?
It's been frustration since December.
I got that part.
All I wanted to do was get the budget passed, because we only had until August 30th to get that done, or the state was going to come in and start overseeing everything. So it was very important that we got it passed by the August 30th deadline, which we did Monday night, and that's a huge relief. And
Yep. And it's a lot of things are in the background, folks. There's a lot of shaking around the ineffectiveness of the Republican Party and other things, the growth of the Democratic Party, and people frustrated and the GOP are going to try to make some moves in different ways. I've heard 2 or 3 different possible scenarios. I don't know exactly what's going to come of all that, but something needs to happen. That's all I've got to say. I'll talk more in the city sector. But we have a full-scale ballot, most we've had in years, I think. We had 5 last time in City of Oak Ridge, and before that, I think we had the same thing. But look at the country. There's going to be some discussions, and we're going to talk a little bit about, okay, I'm going to have Sabra read out to you who is on the ballot for the Oak Ridge City Council, and then we'll come back.
so today was the deadline at noon for
you're
turn
right.
in your petition for your November elections. These are nonpartisan races for November. City Council can't be partisan the way the charters are written.
That's
So
correct, either city.
for Oak Ridge, you've got Steve Duncan, Joe Gaddis, Warren Gooch, Charlie Hensley, Kelly McCampbell, who just ran on the state rep race, Greta Owenby, and Ellen Smith.
Yeah.
So that's the ones that.
And I actually, this is a nonpartisan race, and I think you should support whoever you want to. But folks, that's a list of Democrats. There's only one person on there, and he doesn't even want to talk about it.
Yeah.
He's going to stay away from it, but everybody on there is an accomplishment. And here we go again. I will assure you, I think there's 4 kinds of parties. We have Democrats who have a tradition of Democrat, and they are left after being center. They're center left. That would be your traditional guys. That would be your Bill Clinton or your Jimmy Carter. Be people who have leans, but they're basically centered in what they believe in. Then you have left, which is what we see all around the country, and we see here too. And people are just passionate about it, etc. And we got 2 or 3 on the ballot that are going to be interesting. And all Democrats, basically. So you got center right. And then you got your Republicans who are center right, first centered, and then right. And then you got your right. So you got left, right in the middle. I think this is going to be interesting because I think it's going to pit a lot of traditional Democrats. I'm just going by their policies, their backgrounds over the last 30 years. And they're going to be opposed by some pretty aggressive people, even though it's nonpartisan. I think, and some bright ones too, that it's going to go. So I want to, and if the question for me is, folks, here in Oak Ridge, do the Democrats, we all been over how efficient they are and what a great job Chase Lindsay does as their chairman, do they have enough muscle to get 2 or 3 people from their line of work or their thought processes? They may only have 2, but 3 get elected citywide over traditional people who've been elected a lot of time. And I don't know if he can pull. I know that one of them got a petition. We talked about that at the last minute, right? Next day he turns in 70-something signatures.
Yeah.
It took me 3 weeks in the cold to get 25. So, I mean, the bottom line is that they're well organized. Should be a very competitive city council race. And that's what we need. Everybody needs an opponent. Everybody needs an opponent.
Well, it holds you accountable.
Yeah.
For me, looking at these city council races, since we live in Oak Ridge, I'm looking at growth for the future. I think with all these nuclear and energy companies coming in, Oak Ridge seems to be the center point right now where they all want to come from. We saw that one company, they're coming here.
Right.
You know, shutting down their plant there, coming here.
Yeah. See about
So
every
that
month
brings
now.
jobs in, but at the same time, we've got to talk about housing. We've got to talk about infrastructure. We got to talk about, you know, the roads and things like that.
Traffic.
Traffic is a huge thing. Lunchtime in Oak Ridge is not very fun.
Can't move. It took me 9 minutes to go from New York Avenue, coming in from Knoxville, turning left to go down to Food City to a store there. And you know what? It took 9 minutes. This massive traffic. I lived in New York City. I lived in Pittsburgh for 12 years. I lived in Cleveland, lived in Denver. I've never had worse traffic than in downtown Oak Ridge.
Well, and I blame cell phones for a lot of that. People are just too occupied on their cell phones and not on driving. Most of the time when somebody's about to hit me head on, it's because they're sitting with the phone in their hand.
But
But
the
I
lights
think
are holding them up too. I don't know what the traffic is.
That's a lot of it. I mean, you got all these lights in Oak Ridge, and they're kind of synced with one another. You hit one red light. That's always been the
Yeah.
running joke since I was a teenager. You hit one red light, you're hitting them all.
That's right.
If you get a green light through
My
the
dad
first
said.
one, you're pretty good through the rest of
That's
them.
right.
But
Yes.
I think for me, looking at the list of candidates, and I've always said I've been a fan of Mayor Gooch. I think he's done.
I think I like Warren.
I think he's done a very good job of moving Oak Ridge forward. I mean, we had an empty
No question.
mall forever. He took the initiative to work on that, bring businesses in, and you have to have sales tax revenue. You have to have those things for your city and your county to flourish, or the burden gets stuck up on the taxpayers
That's
on the
correct.
property taxes.
That's correct. Now, let's face it, most of the money that's coming here is coming here because Congressman Fleischman, hopefully to be Senator Fleischman,
Yes.
is just done a marvelous job getting things done in
And
Congress.
I was about to say that about Warren too.
Sorry.
He works well with Congressman
does.
Fleischman and Haggerty and the governor and things like that. He understands what Oak Ridge needs. So you can't say, well, you're on this side and I'm on that side, so we're not going to talk. Nothing can happen if you don't have conversations with one another.
And we talked about that in the primary or in
Yes.
the earlier primary.
People
that-
have to be able to have conversations. It can't just be your way. You have to be able to sit down and say what's best for the citizens of Oak Ridge. So
And they're both parties are equally bad. I mean, the Republicans are in power, so
Yes.
they get more of it. But
So I give Mayor Gooch credit for a lot of that. He works well with Mayor Terry Frank. They know the nuclear and energy industry of everything that's coming in. Like, I've attended several of these open meetings and, ribbon cuttings for all these places, and they're both right there welcoming these people in. So we want them to come here, but what is it going to look like in 10 or 15 years? We can't focus on tomorrow with sidewalks. We have to look at the long-range 10 to 15-year plan of where are we going to be in this housing situation. I mean, we've done good in Oak Ridge. Rick Chin's built apartments over there.
Beautiful, beautiful.
They're full. I know he's looking at building some more.
Yep.
But those are things that city and counties both have to look at, is their infrastructure of how are we going to fill the need. Yes, we want you to come here, but how are our schools going to handle this and things like that. So I want to hear each person's 10 to 15-year plan. Don't tell me what you're going to do tomorrow.
And, that was a big thing in the commission race or school board race, on the West End is, that Wyndham was a big issue and it wasn't addressed properly. And there's some other things that, yet when you get in a split, it's tough.
And due to the voucher situation, if you saw right before school started, superintendent here in Oak Ridge said that they had to put the building of the new school on hold for right now. So we don't have the money.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so we don't have the money to fund a new school. Public school systems are already hurting because population's decreasing. We're not having as many kids as we used to, things like that. I mean, my mom was one of 15.
Right.
We had one child.
Yeah.
So, we're just not keeping up like we should. But what happens when so many people move to one area?
Well, and just face it, the kids today and other people, it started in my generation, but it's gone on that people want to do more. They want to have more things, and even though I would say that that's a problem biblically, it's still the same thing. That people want to have more things, more. They want to have summer homes,
Yes.
and boats, and some people just want to have a big family. I look at Mr. McNally back here, who happens to be my favorite candidate in decades, and so talented. But he has 5 children, and he works at his church continually, and he owns a private business where he does work for charity. Well, those priorities have become less in these years, and he's throwback. He's a little bit of a throwback. And
going up on city council, you've got wards in Clinton. So we've got 1, 2, and 3 over there of your wards. And then you've got the mayor's race. So 2 of the wards, 1 and 2, 1 and 3 have opponents. So, and then Ward 2 has an open spot there. That guy's going to be through. But then you got 3 people running for city mayor in Clinton.
That's correct.
So therefore, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, because I work in Clinton. I'm over there every single day.
And there's a lot of, and the big road, I polled it, and the big issue in Clinton is roads. It's streets. I'm telling you, that's that. And
well, it took a little while for them to fix Main and Market Street. That was crazy. And I give my boy DT Christmas a little shout out. Everybody gives him a hard time on TikTok because he was talking about.
He may be the major news source in the county.
Well, he was talking about, what happened, the sidewalks.
$10 million,
yes,
2 blocks, 2 years.
And so it is a lot. It does look better down through there. I don't think I would have designed it that way. That's just me. I know outside of my office, they paved it and dug it up 5 times. Right outside of my office.
Go to Facebook, it's best out, but like DT Christmas, just like Christmas, that's his name. He's an attorney locally, and watch his TikTok video.
And on TikTok, he's Attorney Christmas on there. So.
My bad.
So, he calls a lot of that stuff out, and a lot of the people in Clinton are very upset with him right now, but he's making some very valid points. Unfortunately, in government,
they won't be happy with us either.
Yeah, and unfortunately, in government, you have to take the lowest bid, but you can also supervise it a lot better. So I'm very interested in that mayor's race to see how that pans out, to see if it has any impact. People were very frustrated not being able to come down Main Street. That was one of the biggest complaints I heard.
Here's my major issue in both races. Obviously, I'm in the business, but here's my issue. Term limits, 70-something% of people believe term limits are necessary. And the second issue is age. Now, in Clinton, Scott's young enough. He could keep going. But Scott's seeking a 5th term, which will be 20 years in office. And I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea. Nothing about Scott, but anybody. That's a long time to be a municipal mayor. Then you got, and then in Oak Ridge, Warren Gooch graduated high school in 70. So he's roughly 74, 73, 74. And he's the youngest incumbent running. It's too much. It's too much. We need some, and it isn't any one of them. Obviously, you want to keep Warren. He's been so valuable. But the problem is that we need somebody else weighing in for the future. You're not getting anybody to participate. They have new questions. Flock cameras. So everybody has those questions.
Yeah, that's a big issue. I know September 10th,
it's coming.
The county's holding a public forum for flock cameras, and I've seen it on TikTok, Facebook. It just all of a sudden kind of become a big deal.
Yeah, it was data centers and it moved.
I think there's some kind of website out there that I don't know about, and all these people kind of jump on it because it all starts happening at one time. And I don't know if it's just because it just gets people's attention, but for me, I understand the concern that people have as citizens. But we're also carrying this around, and every time we get in there, we're giving Facebook, TikTok, all these things permission to follow us around, have our microphone.
It popped up on your phone. Remember that night?
Yeah, that was crazy. I can't even remember what it was.
It was like 45 minutes later, we were talking about some issue, then bang, she got 2 or 3 ads in a row.
So, I get both sides of it. I'm not out here doing anything that the government, yet, but that the government should be worried about.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing they get from me is speeding, because I get a little excited leaving work and trying to get home. But I I do see people's concern with it of what is it doing, who gets this. I think if they're going to use them and if counties and cities decide to use them, then there's got to be some mechanism to where a law enforcement officer has a sign-in code. And if they're abusing that sign-in code, then you just say, you're not getting reprimanded. You're not going to get a 3-day suspension. You're getting terminated. I think that would stop a lot of the craziness.
There's a few of those kinds of people around. They'll check their ex-girlfriend and stuff. That's not where the problem is. The problem is because there's more good than bad. The guy in Morgan County got busted the other day.
Yeah.
Flock got him. He's the capital kind of guy out of Arkansas.
But there's dangers to it. There's been people that's been arrested because they pulled him up on a woman from Tennessee. Yeah. She got arrested because the flock camera picked her up and thought she looked like the defendant who was doing that. And she's sitting in jail a very long time in another state.
No question.
To try to prove her innocence. And, I mean, she's got a major lawsuit.
No question.
Can you rely solely on flock? Absolutely no.
Flock pictures are AI pictures.
You should have as a law enforcement officer, you should have a better case and not just solely rely on flock.
That's why, and I'm going to tell you this, speeding cameras where people send you a ticket, it's not enforceable. There's no affiant.
Oh, let me tell you, when Oak Ridge had theirs, right there, the corner of New York.
It got you all the time.
It got you all the time.
Excuse me?
Because you were turning right on red, and it was like every week I was getting a picture of your car with your tag because you was turning right.
Flock, stop it.
So I've never been so glad in my life that they took that camera out.
No, I never paid one bill, not one dime. I never had to pay anything.
Because you refused to.
Well, I knew I was innocent. And
I guess.
They're saying what she's
I don't know.
saying,
I watched you. I went in there on that link.
Please. You're a spy for the police. The
I mean, I do have my Barker Galloway shirt on.
I see she got the Barker shirt on.
I figured this would trigger a lot of people, and maybe they'd put me on another meme.
He's done a good job. He's a politician for sure.
He's great. But I did this so maybe I could get another meme going. Just don't put me in a dog collar this time. Find something good.
That was kind of crazy. Yeah,
that was stupid.
Yeah, I think it was. I'm going to say, but when you start campaigning, they're lucky because if you weren't running, I would have unleashed. But you got to play it out. And we said it last week. But let's go back to the cities for a second. Clinton needs change because they're managing their money well. But they got all this money in savings. They don't have to raise taxes. But I use the example as if you had a son graduating high school and he got a full scholarship or 80% of it to Harvard or Yale or Vanderbilt or somewhere, and they come back and they said, we're going to pay $80,000 scholarship, but you got to come up with 15. But you don't have 15 on you. You're a working person. Do you go borrow the 15 so your son can go to Princeton or somewhere? Or do you say, no, I manage my money? That's kind of the situation. We're not taking care of our infrastructure over there, the roads. We're not taking, and I'm not sure that we're investing in the buildings. I hear a lot of complaints about other things. I don't live there. I don't have a vested interest.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge sit here with empty buildings. If you wanted to buy a pair of tennis shoes for your child, you had to go to Knoxville to get them, or you were going to JCPenney's.
Right.
There wasn't a wide variety of shoes that you were going to get here in Oak Ridge. Now we've got all kinds of stores that you can walk into, and you've got to have that leadership to move things forward. And I say this to you all the time. Joe Hollingsworth put this Aspire Park, beautiful Aspire Park. I love eating there.
No help.
I love going there. But then you drive through the rest of it and you're like, oh my God.
And that's on the management of Clinton. Because she said, well, it's private industry.
You have to invest into things for other things to want to come in.
Buy the buildings, go into debt, real estate debt, and build that stuff up to something that would be attractive, and then give it back to them and be debt-free again. We've got to invest money in these things.
And one of the things with Clinton that really makes me mad as a county commissioner, you put these things out in the paper and you say you're debt-free. Mm-hmm. It's great. I'm glad the city of Clinton is debt-free. But you also have to have a certain amount of debt to have things and have a good community.
Nobody pays cash.
I was going to hold this segment, hold this for another show, probably weeks down the road, but I'm going to go ahead and say it because
that's what you do.
That's what I do. Right. But the county has sat here and taken on the library issue of the books.
That's a story.
And it's a big story. Mm-hmm. And what we can have in there and what we can't, and both sides are like this, and the meetings are crazy, And people don't have respect for one another. I get it, people. We are passionate about what we believe in, but you don't have to flip birds and call somebody a bad word. Because I'm telling you, if that was my grandmother, you would have had it. But you don't have to act like that in a meeting. You got to respect one another. And sometimes you don't always win. But one of my biggest beefs with the city of Clinton is you're debt-free, but the county's taking on your library. You've got the building.
Yeah.
You've got that. You got this nice building over there. And City of Norris, City of Rocky Top, City of Clinton, they should take their libraries. They should fund their libraries. Here in Oak Ridge, as a property tax owner, we pay our library.
That all started back.
The county gets no say in what Oak Ridge does.
In the 80s and 90s when Boeing was the mayor.
I know how it happened. The librarians
wanted on the pay.
They wanted on the payroll. They wanted this. They wanted the benefits. I understand the whole mechanism of it, but we're sitting over here having to deal with it. Our library board chair gets called out constantly. We're human. We're just human people trying to serve our community. Are we going to do everything right? No, we're not. But
don't insult them and cuss them.
Don't insult them. Don't cuss them. Don't do this stuff because we're trying to figure it out.
That's right.
The laws change. The statutes change all the time. I can't tell you how many times in the criminal justice system it changes. I mean, when they get down to Nashville, I'm sitting and holding my breath until it's the end of session.
I was a long part of that for a long time, and that's basically everybody gets mad about a new crime or something, and then they all go down, I want to stop that. And
they all start reacting.
They're appalled. No, they want to get credit for being whatever.
So for me, the city of Clinton should probably take on their library, take on the employee, and people go to the city council like they have to do here in Oak Ridge.
That's right. Why are we doing that?
If you have a problem with the Oak Ridge Library, you're going to go to Oak Ridge City Council.
That's right.
Well, we're taking on, really, the county should only fund the Brosville Library. That's the county library. So there could be some mechanism of where the county pays a part for the cities so the county residents can use it. And move on. Let the cities have it. They're debt-free.
Let me cut you off. Chandler, first break. Let's go.
At Navarro, we partner with our clients to advance technologies and deliver effective solutions for complex challenges in the nuclear, environmental, and clean energy fields.
American competitiveness runs on innovation, and ORNL helps deliver it. We accelerate the path from research to real-world applications, working with industry to reduce costs, boost efficiency, and bring next-generation technologies to market. It's ORNL science that strengthens the economy and builds opportunity across the nation.
Hi, I'm Rick Scarborough. As a police chief, I spent my entire career serving and protecting our community. With threats to our Tennessee values growing, I'm running for state representative to ensure all our kids are protected and have opportunities with great schools and high-paying jobs. Anderson County is the best place in the country to raise a family. Please join my effort to keep it that way and defend our conservative values.
Election Day is November the 3rd, and I'd appreciate your vote.
America runs on power, and for nuclear power, we need enriched uranium, but almost all of it comes from overseas. In 2019, the Trump administration took action, working with Centrus to build the first new American-owned uranium enrichment plant in 70 years. And now, Centrus is ready to expand to meet our nuclear power and military needs, free from dependence on foreign suppliers. Centrus, American technology built by American workers.
This is Joe Heckman, President of Waste Management at Energy Solutions. Nuclear power is on the rise. Energy Solutions is part of this transition and part of the solution, delivering comprehensive services and assets that support the entire nuclear life cycle. Energy Solutions is protecting and preserving the environment for generations to come.
From Oak Ridge, Tennessee, IB3 Global Solutions conducts operations around the world to enhance the U.S. national security posture and minimize radiological and nuclear threats. IB3 Global Solutions. Mission first.
Feeling overwhelmed with your business finances? At P&L Business Services, we handle all your bookkeeping, payroll, and tax needs. From federal tax returns to QuickBooks training, we've got you covered. With over 25 years of experience, we provide customized packages to fit your business. Focus on what you love most, building your business. Let us take care of the rest. Call 865-294-4792. P&L Business Services, empowering you to grow your business.
Welcome back to Between the Lines. I want to do a little background on how we got the voting system, which I always believed I still believe it's illegal. It's not a one-man, one-vote system. But back in the 80s, early 80s, late 70s, I was in college or a little bit later, and we had the system like commission does. You had a neighborhood, you went in, but the powers that be, and I won't name them, powerful groups decided we're going to do an at-large election in Oak Ridge, because if you're a little Bonnie Sue and you go down to the church down here and your neighborhood has an issue and you want to address it, if you run from that neighborhood, it's not going to cost you a fortune. You can go knock on the doors, kind of like county commission does and others. But when you have to run at large, you're going to have to bring some money to the table to get to everybody. So they figured out, the powers that be, figured out that if we can keep it at large, I was in the room, hotel on Illinois Avenue, I was there with somebody else. But I mean, they made a deal, this is how we're going to go forward, this is what we're going to do. So it's not the best system in the world, and because you have 4 people.
That's kind of like gerrymandering.
I don't know what that means, but if you bring Jerry, he can talk too. Anyway, so we get in there and we get it all done, and it works great. The powers that be do well. The school systems, the hospital, all the powers that be, and they get good people in there. And that's where we are now. Is we got a costly. If you really want to compete, but what happens is like you watch it. The 3 incumbents will be in a system. And probably Joe or somebody else will be lined up with them, and that's where they're going to vote. Everybody's going to vote that system. That's why Chase makes it interesting, because if Chase can block up some people on his side and go get them, and if people look out over the 3 incumbents and says,
but does he want to come after his 3 incumbents?
I think he wants the new ones. I don't know about the old ones. He's got to have 2 of the old ones, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, he has issues, and I don't mean to put all this on Chase. He's just a great success story this year. But the Democrats that are getting involved in, there's city issues, too, for everybody, for liberals, conservatives. There's city issues. Defending your libraries, there's a good one. And doing this, you don't have to do much of that in Oak Ridge now, but there's a lot going on. And I think it's interesting, because I think that how do the votes block up? There's always a block. I've been there. They're going to block it up. So look for the big 3 to block up with probably, they know Joe well or somebody else, and they'll say, these are our 4, these are our 4, these are our 4. And the other 3 are just going to have to scramble on their own. And that's just where we are, or the other 2 or whatever. There's a blank space. So 6 people running in Oak Ridge for 4 spots.
Yes.
And one of them is empty. So those 3 people will get 1 spot if the other 3 incumbents win. Right, there's only 1 open seat. So 3 challengers means 1 person's going in there. Probably, and Joe would be the favorite there because of his long history in Oak Ridge. But you don't know. Kelly, I don't know the other gentleman. What's his name?
Steve Duncan.
I don't know who he is. But Steve, and how are they going to pay him? If they go out and try to get 1 here and 1 there and they all work together, you got to spend a lot of money to get popular quick. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how the block works. My problem with the blocking is the block is about 77 years old across the board. That's about an average 77. I think we need new people in there. I can't see Warren Gooch going anywhere. He's too valuable to the team. I think everybody on all sides will be for Warren. But these races are never more than 2,800, 2,600, 2,500, 2,200. We saw it. And but the person out, like the young lady up on Georgia, the person that's out, right? They're only out by a couple hundred votes because people block. But they may pick 1 person they don't like in the block, and they'll put 1 of their other people on. So it's really a confusing election. Your best bet, and I said it here, is don't vote for people that you don't want in there. Don't just pick 3 more. If you got 2 favorites, vote for those 2 and nobody else.
And that's what I'm saying. They've got to start asking questions of what the long-term plan is.
That's right.
What do these people see Oak Ridge being or Clinton being in 10 or 15 years? sidewalks are nice and a paved road is nice, but what are you going to do for the rest of the area? And I think in Oak Ridge, with all this growth that we're getting from the nuclear and energy world, are we ready for this? I don't think we were ready for it 10 years ago because, you know, when Congressman Flashman got in, we started getting all this money that was delivered back to Oak Ridge, and now it's kind of like a booming business. Like, it seems like all these businesses just want to come to Oak Ridge. It's like we're the epicenter right here.
Well, once you got O&L and Y12, especially O&L, they have so much technology and interest in some of the top scientists in the world that if you build something here, you can tap into some of those resources that have been here forever. And now it's more than ever. And to be fair, technology has changed.
Yes.
SMRs are hot. Everything's working.
And I know nothing about that world other than some of the things I hear you. And when we go to E-Tech, like, I'm just enamored by all of it because I'm like, whoa, what is that stuff? Yeah. I don't know anything about that world, but I do understand growth. I do understand business, taxes, things like that. So I just want to make sure that we're asking the right questions. We're not putting the same o in there. We're asking questions of where do you see Oak Ridge being in 10 or 15 years? And I don't want to address the elephant in the room, but are you going to be here in 10 or 15 years? That's a question that we have to ask these people that want to represent us.
That's why we need a balance of young people.
Are you going to be here in 10 or 15 years to even think about 10 or 15 years?
That's an old campaign we did in Clinton. And that's the problem. We need a balance of young people need to come up and say, here's what we want. Here's where we're headed. And they'll say, no, we're taking care of you. Don't worry about it. We got this. Well, maybe you do and maybe you don't.
And we touched on that last week. A lot of these people that are running that have been on these ballots, I don't think they're in touch of where these young people are.
Not a chance.
And I don't think they understand it. I don't understand it myself. I'm just listening. I listen to Caleb all the time, and I try to, take his opinion in, and he's changed my mind on a lot of things.
But, I've had interns for 30, 40 years. I just like young people being around. They don't make a lot of money, but they learn a lot, and they get a little bit in the summer, and the ones that stick around work for them, and they learn stuff, and I take time with them, and I work it. And they're coming, they all looked at me. I won't go into names on either side, but they looked at me and said, now let me explain it to me again, Alan. I vote in the Republican primary. I protect my integrity as a Republican every time if I do it, yes. What about the general? Do people know how I vote in the general? People don't ask that question because they plan on voting Republican.
Yeah.
They're frustrated or they're changing. And I'm going to tell you, surprisingly, Monty Fritz had a lot of support among young people.
He really did.
He is an ultra-conservative.
And that really shocked me.
Me too.
But these kids, they are America first. They don't want to hear anything other than that.
That's what they say.
I don't know. They live it. The ones that I've met, they're living it, and they don't care about the things that we cared about. They don't want the white picket fence in the house and all that.
That is America.
They don't want that. They want an apartment where they don't have to go out and mow, and they don't have to do all this.
Rephrase. What makes them America first? What do they do?
They don't care about this war with Israel. They do not care. They don't want to hear it. They think that we shouldn't be involved in wars. And they're very adamant about it.
I agree. I mean, ever since I can go through the history, but World War II, when Roosevelt finally had to get in after Pearl Harbor, the whole Senate in the 30s was isolationist. They didn't want to be in anything, and that's been a reoccurring theme in history. We had to engage in World War II and other things. That's made us more of a global power. But technology changes the game. Now we have to be committed because our technology is best in the world, but the Chinese are right behind us. Then you got the
Russia.
You got the Ukraine thing, and we're fighting the war into a draw, and they've got bots built in garages, and we've got the highest technology stuff in the world. It's interesting. It's an asymmetrical war, that's for sure. But I don't know. I just think that we need more flavors. The same old people patting themselves on the back and talking about all they've done. I mean, I get it. They pass the zoning, they pass this. But I would like to see one person or two people stand up there and say, I want another children's park over here, or I want this over here. Those are the things. You're right. They have different ideas. I'm always suspicious of a 23-year-old's ideas, what it's based on, because they haven't had experience.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Their vision counts. And and they're doing a lot, and they're making a difference. And there's a lot of things they believe. They love technology.
But I'm also concerned about the 80-year-old too.
More so.
Yeah.
More so.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Why are you on there?
Where is Mitch McConnell? I mean, that's me. Where is he?
He could fit in down here.
I mean, I don't believe all that stuff, so I'm proof of life. That's all I need.
Look for this ad.
Other than an AI photo.
Look for this ad.
And I've seen some really good videos where he's up dancing, break dancing. That was pretty funny. But, I mean, it's those kind of things. If we've got an age limit that you have to be required to run, then we should have one that you are not in a mental state to do that. You should not keep doing it.
And I'm with them, and I agree with that. And I polled it for years. 76% of voters think 75 is the limit. And I think that's decent. And if they're saying run at 70, I'd say you have to be retired, that you have to get out by 75. Because that's where I'm at. So
Well, ideals change, and what people want changes. And if you got the same person that's in there 40, 50 years, if they're not moving with the change, nothing's going to happen.
And take it from a 71-year. Nobody holds on to the past like old people.
Yeah, they do.
And I'm one of them. I'm one of them.
Yes, a lot.
And I do. But I want to hear what everybody else wants. I mean, we had a great recreational system in this town when I was young. Don Bell will tell you, other people tell you, we had softball fields at every elementary school. We just had this unity, and we had summer playground stuff. And then we had rowing, which is fine, which has done very well with the rowing community. But in our neighborhoods, we still like to play football and basketball, but they just don't facilitate. That's my difference with the city rec. Not that it's bad or good, it's just not my thing. I think we should go back to basketball leagues. Of course, we have a lot less kids than we did back then, but I think we need young parents in their 40s, telling us what their kids need. We built skateboard parks. That was cool. I like that. We did some other things. And Oak Ridge is basically a suburban community. But it's getting different.
And that goes back to what I was saying earlier. What are we doing to make our kids want to stay here after they get out of high school, college, all this stuff? What are we doing for them to come back home and want to start their family, want to make a career here? I don't think that we focus on that enough. In Oak Ridge.
People come here. I'm telling you, we recruit leaders in all these industries. I know them. There's like 8 or 9 close friends who are high up in all the good friends in all of the different, whether it's Ornell or Y12 or some of these new companies. And the guys come in, and men basically don't care where they live. It's not their thing because they don't do all that. They're out working, making money. But almost 80% of the women say, I'm going to Knoxville. We're not living in this town. And they're going over there. Why are they saying that? Because there's nothing for the kids to do. That's been the number one thing. And there's been other things. And
yeah, I try to go through Solway in the afternoon. It's awful. Mm-hmm. If you're an Oak Ridger, you know what time to leave before the traffic starts. And if you don't make that time, you got to wait until after the traffic's gone. Like, I think we all know that time frame.
And Warren and I have talked for 15 years about this. There has to be more CEOs and more people living in Oak Ridge. We need some requirements and get people to stay here, and it's hard to do. I get it because it's a 3rd Anderson, 3rd Rome, and the 3rd Knoxville. But I get it. We're all pretty mobile and merged. But I would like to see the city of Oak Ridge get some. I guess I haven't looked at the stats in 4 or 5 years, so it may be happening. But I think we need to promote Oak Ridge from. You know where I'm going with people that live in here, people we're doing. And that's why we have housing. I don't know where the housing shortage is. I know we're building on the West End like crazy. Where's the other housing shortages?
Oh, it's all over. I mean, we don't have enough.
You had not have enough land? I mean, you can't blame Rick Chin, and you can't blame some of the other developers.
But, I mean, like rent. People can't afford the rent. Mm-hmm. If you're a single mother, how are you affording the rent right now?
How can Oak Ridge City Council and Oak Ridge government make a better life for mothers in Oak Ridge?
Well, I think we've got to have those conversations. Mm-hmm. I think that's conversations that's got to be had. We can't let the less fortunate go, the lower class, and sit over here with the middle class and the high class.
I'm a trained public administrator. Here's the problem. If I accommodate and I build a lot of $120,000 modular houses, or, in those days it was 100, now it's probably 160, and those kind of middle houses, I don't help the tax rolls. That's the problem. We need $400,000 and $500,000 houses
Yes.
to get the money to run the city. So you don't really want to push for that kind of housing, but
But you also have to have
That's
some of it.
correct. That's
You
correct.
have to have some of that housing. You can't just
and
leave people.
Chin's payments, you get an apartment over there, single mother, you can get it for $1,500 or $1,600.
Yeah,
but
they're beautiful too.
yeah, we've had
Nice
customers-
little community over there. I mean, he did it right when he
But
built
most
those.
of it's modular young people coming through.
Yeah.
They're here for 2 or 3 days. You know, we used to joke with John all the time about Amanda. They come, they stay a couple, 3 years, and they move on.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing. And that's important in a town like this with all the energy stuff and everything else that's going on. But how do we get them to build homes and raise kids and go to schools? And we're starting to get up. I mean, Warren told me today, we were talking at some meeting, and he said that Oak Ridge is over 34,000. But I'm going to go back to it, folks. In 1973, I was playing ball and 4 at Murfreesboro. After I left Oak Ridge basketball, I played at Middle Tennessee State. They had 30,000 people in that town. We had 30,000 people in this town. Then we went to Clarks. My sister was in Clarksville, where she built a business and everything. They had about 31,000 people. Jackson had about 35,000 people. I can go on around. Cookville had 12. All those communities are probably average 180,000 people. And we're still at 30-something. We're still right here at 32. Now, to be fair, we don't have as many interstate access as they do, but still, it's interesting. I don't know. I just think that building it on the energy and not trying to get away from it was a positive sign. Channel, give us another break.
American competitiveness runs on innovation, and ORNL helps deliver it. We accelerate the path from research to real-world applications, working with industry to reduce costs, boost efficiency, and bring next-generation technologies to market. It's ORNL science that strengthens the economy and builds opportunity across the nation.
America runs on power, and for nuclear power, we need enriched uranium, but almost all of it comes from overseas. In 2019, the Trump administration took action, working with Centrus to build the first new American-owned uranium enrichment plant in 70 years. And now, Centrus is ready to expand to meet our nuclear power and military needs, free from dependence on foreign suppliers. Centrus, American technology built by American workers.
Hi, I'm Rick Scarborough. As a police chief, I spent my entire career serving and protecting our community. With threats to our Tennessee values growing, I'm running for state representative to ensure all our kids are protected and have opportunities with great schools and high-paying jobs. Anderson County is the best place in the country to raise a family. Please join my effort to keep it that way and defend our conservative values.
Election Day is November the 3rd, and I'd appreciate your vote.
This is Joe Heckman, President of Waste Management at Energy Solutions. Nuclear power is on the rise. Energy Solutions is part of this transition and part of the solution, delivering comprehensive services and assets that support the entire nuclear life cycle. Energy Solutions is protecting and preserving the environment for generations to come.
At Navarro, we partner with our clients to advance technologies and deliver effective solutions for complex challenges in the nuclear, environmental, and clean energy fields.
From Oak Ridge, Tennessee, IB3 Global Solutions conducts operations around the world to enhance the U.S. national security posture and minimize radiological and nuclear threats. IB3 Global Solutions. Mission first.
Feeling overwhelmed with your business finances? At P&L Business Services, we handle all your bookkeeping, payroll, and tax needs. From federal tax returns to QuickBooks training, we've got you covered. With over 25 years of experience, we provide customized packages to fit your business. Focus on what you love most, building your business. Let us take care of the rest. Call 865-294-4792. P&L Business Services, empowering you to grow your business.
We're back in between the lines. Sabra's getting ready to address some issues down the stretch, and she addressed them all show. But anyway, I worked with some mental health collateral issues for a long time, 8 to 10 years. We're going to fix things. We've got some serious mental issues in our young people and in people that are coping with problems. And I think we're going to have to figure out on a local level as well and other levels how we're going to help those people and what we're going to do. And there's ramifications. And I don't know. Sabra, what do you think?
Well,
You see it, right?
I see it in my job every day, mental health issues. I've seen the decline since COVID even drastically changed. So I don't know if that's COVID related, if that just kind of freaked people out because we went down into lockdowns. But mental health is a big issue that I think your local, state, and federal agencies need to look into. I mean, when you think about what we had in the 90s, there was several mental health facilities. If we need to get somebody, see if they're competent, we have to send them all the way down to Moccasin Bend.
Yeah,
And there's kind of a delay. So I think mental health services have, the United States as a whole, I know I talked to you about the Lindsay Clancy case, and if you're out there and you've seen that, it showed up in my TikTok feed about 2 weekends ago. Knew nothing about the case until I started watching it. Now I'm kind of like...
Where was it at?
Massachusetts, and I'm kind of like one of the jurors right now.
Okay.
Like
You're waiting on it.
I'm on there, and
That's
a
like
lot
a-
of things don't make sense. But when they put her medical people on the stand and the psychiatrist, and they called off all the medicines that she was taking, and they were just throwing medicines at her, and she would feel horrible, and she had postpartum issues. She had 3 kids, and she's accused of killing her kids, and she admits to killing her kids. I mean, it's kind of a whole weird story, and then she's jumped out the window. So if you don't know the story, you need to go look into it and watch it. But I'm not here to judge whether she did kill her kids or not kill her kids. I'm judging on the healthcare, mental health system let her down. And they let many people down.
Let me ask you a question real quick as it relates to us in that context. Why is it a bigger problem in Clinton than it is in Oak Ridge? I'm just looking at communities, and I hear it all the time in Clinton. All kind of your court systems are. In Oak Ridge, we don't see it as a.
I think it's a lot of lack of jobs. Neighborhoods, things like that. I think there's...
But that's a cat in the mouth. I mean, I can't give them a job if they're mentally...
Well, a lot of times people get in a mental funk because they don't have good employment. They can't pay their bills. Am I going to end up homeless? I mean, it's things like that, the worry and the depression, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. Most of the people that come in and see me, I tell them a job can change a lot of things.
Yeah.
And they'll go out and get a job.
If they have the social skills and the mental health to show up
Yes.
every day.
But the way that we've got the system set up now, the mental health it's horrible. And I have seen this decline. I can't tell you how many young people I'm seeing right now. Like, we didn't have time for all that. We didn't have phones. We didn't have internet. We didn't have all this stuff that's coming at us constantly. Like, we're so absorbed with information that keeps coming at us, and sometimes it's really terrifying.
It's crazy.
I can see something on the internet, and I'm like, oh, gosh, the world's coming to an end. I freak out.
You know, it's funny. I went to get a look at a flip phone because I said, I'm done with it. I just want to get a flip phone where I can get called and get called back, blah, blah, blah.
Please don't do that.
Costs more than our iPhones because they don't want to lose the customer. They want to stay in our phones and our data. Flip phone, they wouldn't do.
I could imagine what your text messages to me would look like if you did that.
On the flip phone?
Yeah, please do not. That would be awful.
Maybe.
That would cause me to have a mental health breakdown. Don't do it.
Barker, where are you?
I'm just saying. So I think on the local level, those are things that we've got to address. I know I've sat on the opioid committee. So, the whole opioid pandemic, counties and states got funding because they sued these companies. So Anderson County's been very fortunate. Unfortunately, a lot of people had to suffer through it, but we have done a lot of good things with those opioid funds. Like that, I think that was probably one of the proudest committees that I sat on.
And the way you solve problems like that is you get your nonprofits that are good more money.
Yes,
I disagree
and
with that.
we've got several. I won't call them out, but like I have to deal with them every day in my normal job. we've got several of those organizations, and they just want to help, and they do everything that they can to help these people. And a lot of those places, they've been recovering addicts too. They've been there. So it's hard to look at somebody and say, stop doing drugs, stop being depressed, stop this. But when you can look at them and say, I've been there, I know what you're going through, and this is going to be hard, it builds more of a trust between you and them. So that was probably the best committee I sat on, and they're trying to help people. We've given out funds to a lot of good companies, nonprofits that are really trying to help people. But we've got to start focusing on the mental health aspect. We don't have enough places for people to get the help that they need.
I think I'll call it the Republican model, for lack of a word, about pick yourself up by the bootstraps, get a job, be an American. But it's not working. I mean, basically, we have a whole generation of people that need help. We did in the 60s, too, in a sense. They were changing. Like, these kids remind me a lot. You're in between, but these kids remind me a lot of the hippie years and the peaceniks and people that are trying to change the world and all that stuff. It's kind of similar. But we had our military people. We had to come. I just think we're going to have to invest more money in social programs and stuff, even if we have to tax somewhere up higher than us. Can't solve that with a local tax.
No.
But they're going to have to put some money aside. And that's why, mark this down, this is my area. All these other things are her, my area. The reason that the numbers are growing in socialism, the reason that the numbers are growing in other areas is because these people are facing the dilemmas that you're talking about, and young people too. So, it's. I used to have long talks with, Brandon Fisher. He's a very bright guy, and you just gotta have enough money in the system to help. When there's a strong middle class, then it goes. And I know I sound like a Democrat, and now it's pulled apart. You have young people. And young people just don't want to participate.
But that issue should not be Republican or Democrat.
But it is. Because they want to spend tens of millions on those things.
It shouldn't be.
And you guys allot 1% or 2%.
And I see things, I see mental illness as a broad thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Listen, I'm going to throw this out here, and whoever the dude is that stands on the sidewalk every Saturday in front of the Civic Center, holding up a sign that says death to the GOP, that's mental illness. I'm just going to call it out. You can have your opinion on things, but my kid doesn't want me to die. My family doesn't want me to die. I'm a Republican, so you're telling me that. So that's mental illness. It's one thing to have your opinion on something. You may hate Trump with a passion. You may hate me. But when you're standing on the sidewalk in public saying horrible things, that's mental illness. There's no way to wrap that up. I don't care what party you're from. I don't care if you're male or female. I don't care if you're 80 or 22. That is mental illness. And until we start calling those things out, then people are going to continue to think what is bad is good and what is good is bad. So
if we had somebody
be a little better.
If we could exercise a little bit and turn this off, half of them would be cured. That's my theory.
Well, and I say this too. I say it about social media all the time. Everybody wants attention. They're making their videos. They're taking their picture. They're wanting to get.
You're talking about the Republican Executive Committee?
I'm talking about everybody as a whole. Like I complain about this to my friends all the time, and I'm like, what is wrong with this? I bet you I say mental illness 10 times a week. That is mental illness. They're just wanting to see how many likes they can get. They're just wanting attention. Oh my God, you look so great. No, you don't. No, you don't. Stop doing that. It's clown stuff. And that stuff bothers me. It's one thing if you're at a birthday party, but when you do it every single day, mental illness, that's all you can explain it. And then we're wondering why our kids are so messed up because they see nothing but mental illness all day long. And we have to call that stuff out and say, be better. Be better than what you're being.
Absolutely. Hey, give me a run real quick, Chandler. Third cycle, and we'll come back and close it with 2 or 3 minutes left. That was good. That was passionate.
Ooh.
Anybody say anything to you?
American competitiveness runs on innovation, and ORNL helps deliver it. We accelerate the path from research to real-world applications, working with industry to reduce costs, boost efficiency, and bring next-generation technologies to market. It's ORNL science that strengthens the economy and builds opportunity across the nation.
America runs on power, and for nuclear power, we need enriched uranium, but almost all of it comes from overseas. In 2019, the Trump administration took action, working with Centrus to build the first new American-owned uranium enrichment plant in 70 years. And now, Centrus is ready to expand to meet our nuclear power and military needs, free from dependence on foreign suppliers. Centrus, American technology built by American workers.
Hi, I'm Rick Scarborough. As a police chief, I spent my entire career serving and protecting our community. With threats to our Tennessee values growing, I'm running for state representative to ensure all our kids are protected and have opportunities with great schools and high-paying jobs. Anderson County is the best place in the country to raise a family. Please join my effort to keep it that way and defend our conservative values.
Election Day is November the 3rd, and I'd appreciate your vote.
This is Joe Heckman, President of Waste Management at Energy Solutions. Nuclear power is on the rise. Energy Solutions is part of this transition and part of the solution, delivering comprehensive services and assets that support the entire nuclear life cycle. Energy Solutions is protecting and preserving the environment for generations to come.
Welcome back. We had to cut it a little short because we're almost done. We got 3 minutes left.
You talked a lot.
You got my people are out there. You know I don't talk at all hardly compared to this one. But anyway, I want to say something real quick on Quentin. David Queener passed away today, and I don't know anybody in my 30, 40 years, and David and I disagreed on 70% of what we talked about. He was a devout Democrat, but nobody ever loved or cared about the city of Quentin more than he did. I mean, he was amazing, Sabra. Mm-hmm. And he dedicated himself to sports. He loved sports here in this studio. He did other things. And he was a vice mayor. I mean, he just, in public service in the city for years. And, you know, it's sad.
Yep.
He will be missed.
Yep. Praying for his family.
I liked them all. Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead. Okay, you got some finishing comments?
Yep. So I just wanted to say for your races that are coming up in November, make sure that you ask questions. Don't just say, I'm just going to put the same O in there just because it's a name you know. What is important to you? What is important to me may not be the same thing that's important to you. So I think you need to ask these questions to these elected officials who are wanting your vote. Where do they see the future of the city in 10 or 15 years? And be tough on them. Ask them these questions and who deserves your vote. Not, hey, I've known this person for 20 years. Who deserves your vote?
Yeah, and you know, the council will say to me, look, we had an open forum. Nobody came when we put our stuff forward. Nobody trusts you. Nobody thinks their voice will be heard. We got to change that. It's not your fault, but we got to get it out there. And I'm telling you, I know these new candidates, right? And they are going to come. I mean, they're going to bring it. Mm-hmm. And Oak Ridge especially. Quentin will be more of a battlefield. Oak Ridge will be a debate. And it's going to be interesting to watch it. But, folks, let's get a little younger. Let's just try to get a few young people in these positions because it's too much. It's too much. Take it. It's too much.
Take it from the old guy.
Take it from the old guy. It's too much. You got to have somebody like Warren to manage the deal and guide the ship. But you don't want a bunch of people, 75 and 80, rowing the ship. That's good.
Oh, that was a good
That's
one.
A real good one. So that's the point. We need better rowers. We need younger people, more endurance. But I appreciate everything all of them do. Don't get me wrong on that. But that's something to look at, the ages of the people involved. It's not as big a problem in Clinton. It's a problem here. And that's where we're at. And yet they do a good job. But we need more ideas, people that... If you ask all those people who are older, who's their favorite musician, you're going to get a lot of the same answers. You bring the young people...
Please don't say Taylor Swift.
Bon Jovi, you can live with that?
Let's Van Halen, AC/DC, Fleetwood Mac.
That's
my favorite.
I'm more of a Bob Dylan, folk kind of guy. I like all those issues.
All
You got
right.
8 seconds. Thanks. You did good.
Until next week.
Thanks for letting me talk a couple times. That was great.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week to talk one more week, and then Chuck Fleischman's coming to town.